thanks for doing this, guys. I really appreciate it. I know we're all sort of stuck at home anyway, so it's maybe one of the benefits of lockdown. So you've been together since 2012. Am I right?
Yeah.
And how did you connect, or was it something have you known each other for years, or was it just a chance meeting? You went to some sort of karaoke night, I don't, something trivial like that, or what was it? I mean, obviously, I know you're in Bristol, so, but what was, how did you form?
We'd all been friends for quite a while, working together in a kind of similar kind of vein, round music, a little bit towards theatre, some recording studio stuff. We were all doing different things, but then one day we were at a party for the Queen's Jubilee, sitting in the garden.
Yeah.
And we'd all just by chance all been listening to sea shanties, Fisherman's Friends and Stan Rogers, and we just thought we'd give it a go. So someone started singing, the rest of us joined in, tried some harmonies, and then just carried on really, filmed some videos, did some gigs in some pubs, then it all blew up from there.
And where's the name come from then? I mean, obviously I know Long John at Silver. You can, was it just a play on words from that, or was it just because your name Jonathan? Is it just, it's going to be Long John? How does it come from,
It was kind of a play on words on that, and the name that we hated the least from all the suggestions that we came up with.
Oh, okay. What were the other options then? Can you remember?
I think we were like the Land Lovers. That was one of them for a while. I think we had a Dropbox called that for a while. But Longest Johns was as I say, it was a nice bit of amusement there, to be sure, and it kind of just stuck after a little while.
Yeah, we're definitely not named after JD.
That's what I thought that was the case, or I mean, long, the long Robbies or the long Andys or the long Days.
There's no deep, meaningful story there.
We do use for sort of online tag names and things a little bit, so like the longest JD or the longest Dave.
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
That's as far as that stretches, really. We don't joke any further.
So, can I just ask on? You've done 3 albums, haven't you? Is that right? And a couple of EPs over the years.
Yeah, that's right.
And were you still working jobs or in your careers, or when you released these albums, or did you sort of give them up a few years ago? I mean, what's sort of the story?
Yeah, up to relatively recently, maybe a year or so, we've all been full-time in the band, but we were all doing various things for the first couple of albums, some kind of freelance work, so proper jobs. Rob was the last person with a real job brewing beer.
Really?
And then he was a great supplier for
it was brilliant.
The less than perfect stuff that he got to take home would make its way to our streaming sessions.
Oh, right. And what about you, JD? What was your sort of career or industry you worked in?
I've been doing music for a lot longer. I played in, after even A-levels and stuff, I went off and took a gap year playing in a band for a year then, and then went to music college. Oddly enough, the same music college as Dave and Robbie, but like a year apart. So I didn't actually 2 years apart, so I didn't get to know them there.
Right.
And then pretty much just been doing music stuff ever since. So either teaching guitar or playing in different bands and function bands, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of going down all of that avenue, really.
And what about you, Andy?
I spent a few years working in IT. That's the main thing I did. Yeah, worked in IT for a small accounts firm.
And I bet you don't miss that.
You don't miss
that. You don't miss that, do you?
Mostly, I don't miss it.
You could feel the zeal for the job just off you, Andy.
I know. It's just like it changed. It's like it changed from his face.
Yeah, like he's remembering suddenly.
Turning it off and on again.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I mentioned to a couple of guys earlier that I'm speaking to Nathan Evans tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Obviously, and obviously he he took your track, I guess, just played a version of it by himself, didn't he, on TikTok, and he's took off. And I think, is it this week he's gone to #1 in the charts?
The remix did, yeah.
The remix, sorry, yeah, the remix.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to him tomorrow on another interview. Have you got anything you want to say to him, or you'd like to set me to say to him?
Sure, yeah, just like, I mean, obviously massive congratulations for everything that's kicking off. And we're just really grateful that the whole kind of genre and community is getting more light. And it's obviously in no small part thanks to him. So yeah, thanks very much.
This has been something we've been doing and have been passionate about for like almost 9 years now. So to see like this massive outpouring of love and interest in the music and the genre as a whole is a fantastic and incredible thing. So yeah, very, very pleased, very grateful, and wish him all the best, very much so.
Can I just ask, why do you think the craze has taken off then, the music? Why do you think it has? Is it because everyone's been in lockdown and they sort of maybe compare it to being on a big ship where they can't go anywhere? Do you know what I mean? And that's the seclusion and all the rest, and they've got these songs as an escape. That's my take on it anyway. It's probably just complete nonsense, but do you think that's the case? People are just locked at home and they need an escape like these songs to sort of give them a sense of adventure, I guess, mentally.
I think there's a pretty big combination of things. It feels like almost a perfect storm, because in kind of our experience, it's kind of been growing and bubbling under the surface for a while. Like there have been loads of really interesting like periods of growth and stuff like that have really spiked in interest in the music and the genre. So like even looking back quite a few years, there was obviously the Fisherman's Friend, and then there was the Assassin's Creed Black Flag game and Assassin's Creed Rogue that had loads of sea shanties in. And so there was a whole kind of interest sparked from those in like the whole gaming community as a result of sea shanties and whatnot. And then there are loads of other bands out there that have been doing this stuff for years, and we've been a part of that.
Yeah.
And we've tried to reach that kind of more modern audience, I guess, in what we've been trying to do. And so again, with like we've done stuff with like Thieves, for example, in the game of that, Sing People, and we've seen this kind of this spiraling upwards growth, and even like with the song The Wellerman as well. Yeah. Where it's people have taken it on board and made jokes and memes like that out of it, and it's created this real kind of social cultural movement that's just kind of been teetering just below like the mainstream interest and that sort of thing. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do with that, where it's actually been just kind of gaining its own momentum behind the scenes a lot. And then you combine that with all these feelings of lockdown and being stuck inside, and these tales of some of the worst and hardest jobs that you can possibly imagine, and being stuck in a situation that you don't want to be in. And also then having that inviting feeling of actually, you can take part in this and you can share your feelings and your experience through singing these songs. It's just like this beautiful kind of web that's been weaved to kind of lead up to this moment now, where suddenly everyone's like, this is great, I understand this now.
Yeah, because it's exploded. I mean, I think I saw on YouTube you did something recently with like a community. There was, I think you asked for 100 contributions, and then you had like 500 or something, and it's just phenomenal to watch it. You must have been overwhelmed by the what you got given by your fans.
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, we've got a system down now, and we went live with a second one of those actually a few days ago. So we're going to be doing a giant community project of the Wellerman, and it's already gone way past what we managed to do with one. So yeah, might be a little bit of a sort of logistics and editing nightmare, but
yeah. So that's
good.
As I say, it's great to get all these people together for a sing song. It just doesn't happen that often these days.
No, it's phenomenal. I mean, who does all the editing then? Is you just split it 4 ways?
It kind of depends on the project, because my wife also works with us quite a lot and has helped us out with a lot of editing and filming stuff as well. But it depends on the thing. So different video projects often have a different editor, but she very much figured out the plan, kind of label signing, everything like that. We got the backing to be able to go even bigger with this project as well, which is lucky because it's already bigger than the previous one after 2 days. So it's
yeah, I think it's a nice side of kind of where we've come from and where we're going, that we're still doing the same stuff but bigger and better because we've got more people behind us now. So
and you've got I know the track's just been released on Decca, hasn't it? I mean, have you got plans for an EP or coming out soon, or is it going to be an LP you're going to be doing?
Ooh. We've
Secrets.
definitely got stuff. Secrets, yeah. We've
Okay.
definitely got some stuff in the works, but there's not too much we can kind of announce yet for sure.
Okay.
But rest assured, there's definitely some more things that we've had planned for a while that we're getting cracking on
Yeah.
very soon, which is very exciting.
I think this is
Yeah.
one of the things about having a label that's a little alien to us. We're used to just looking around the four of us and going, "Can we say that? Yeah, go for it." Whereas now we've got this sort of filtration system to work through before we give away secrets. Can we say that? Mm.
I'm terrible for it as well.
Yeah, I could see it in your face, JD.
Just wants to burst with secrets.
I want to say things.
I don't know. I knowing Decca, I know there's plans of hoots, good plans ahead and all that. So I know there's going to be good stuff in the future for you guys anyway. So. Can I just say, I also know what we mentioned before about it's taken off massively. I know social media has been a big help. TikTok and YouTube and all these have been a great help for yourselves and other artists, of the same genre. Do you have any? I was going to say, do you? Who's the expert at the social media side of stuff? Is it a combination of the four of you? Because I know obviously you like you said, you think your wife is, or your girlfriend does a lot of the video and the editing side of things. When it comes to the TikTok or the YouTube, who do you just split it four ways again, or was it just a case of who's the best at it and that person does it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of everything, really. I mean, personally, I feel much more comfortable with Facebook and YouTube. I don't really use Instagram, but Robbie's quite good with Instagram and JD as well. And that, yeah, TikTok was quite alien to all of us when we first started, but we just started putting stuff out there, and it seemed to work. So now it's just we'll do what we can. We'll spread it out there, and it's just nice to have so many different ways to interact with our fans, especially now that we can't go see them at gigs.
And can I just say, I mean, I know you can't mention anything about music due coming up or whatever, but you obviously yearning to be touring by the end of the year. Is that a good question to ask?
Absolutely. So we've also signed with a UTA as well, if you're not sure on that, and we've already got we had 4 dates put in for the end of the year for us, but so in Bristol, London, Glasgow, and Dublin. But the Bristol one sold out within a day, so we put on a second one. That sold out 2 days later, so now we've got a third one.
Bloody hell.
Which is cool. So yeah,
Exciting.
which is incredible. And we're also going to be supporting Skinny Lister on tour. What's the official genre they use?
They're just shanty punk, apparently.
Shanty punk.
That's what they use.
I'm pretty
They're
sure
just a folk punk band from London.
So we're going to be touring with them and supporting them.
I am wearing
I
that
was going to
t-shirt.
say he's got a t-shirt. Yeah, I can see.
Shanty punk. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're doing 10 dates with them as well.
November. Planned.
Right. And obviously you want to go abroad as well. You want to go to the US.
So, yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, as soon as we can.
As soon as we can. Yeah, we know we've got a massive following over in the US and across Europe even as well, and Australia and New Zealand too. So we're hoping to get out to as many of those places as we possibly can, as soon as we can, really.
I was going to say, you obviously, you've got a huge following in the US. So, you must be yearning to go out there, because obviously you can't do anything at the moment, but it must be so frustrating for you guys.
It is, but I mean, I think we're very aware the rest of the world is also on pause. It's not like it's specifically us, so we don't feel embittered about it or anything.
Yeah.
But just having a look at, just because of Spotify and all these online areas, we can see very specific stats and things as to where people are listening.
Yeah.
Who's listening, how they're listening, what they're listening on, and it's really been really interesting to be able to go like, oh, there's loads of people in like Chicago in the US listening
I think it
to
was
us, like way more than anywhere else.
Everyone in Atlanta listens to us, which is a huge percentage.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, you for guys from Bristol, who just sort of started this on like a as a friendship thing, and to to then discover you know where you are now, you know, 8 years, well, just over 8 years later, and then signing for Decca as well. And then I was like, you know, it's gonna, the future's, you know, yours once the future becomes normal again. But it's, you might just you still pinch yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've had the chance to just kind of sit down and really reflect. I guess once we could all get together and have a beer, that's when we'll really start to sink in.
Andy can pinch Dave and JD can pinch.
Yeah. I'm not sure we've actually had the conversation. It's like, is this really going on? Just like to be able to take it in with all of us. Because again, like we haven't been able to go outside really.
Yeah, it's still weird.
There's all this stuff going on outside, apparently, but we're still sat home having a nice time making videos.
I still feel very busy, but I'm also aware I'm just in the house all the time.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
It's, I mean, when did you last see each other then? You know, when we last together, when Robbie, or ask Rob first.
We had an attempt at trying to do a video in isolation when it snowed about 5 days ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But it wasn't going ahead, and we couldn't get close to each other anyway. And so
waved
sure.
at each other.
Yeah.
All right, all the best. See you later. The last time we were together properly was sort of before lockdown. I think we did a music video for one of our tracks, "Got No Beard," off our last album.
I saw that bit. Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, so that was the last thing we did all together. We have no more material now, unless we make some. So yeah, I hope this all finishes soon and we can get back to doing it.
So how are you all connecting each other then? I mean, is it just you on like group chats like this all the time, like Zoom, or is it by phone calls? I mean, how are you sort of connecting? Because it must be a bloody pain, all four of you being away from each other.
Yeah, it's mostly online. We've got a little kind of a private Discord where we can chat to each other through text and audio as well. But I mean, when it comes to content, it's normally someone starts a recording, sends it around to everyone else, they add their bit, and then try and edit it all together.
And I've got to ask you about the decision to sing like sea shanty stuff. What was? I mean, I know you mentioned before you sort of you like the folk and stuff like that, but why did you sort of stick with it, and not sort of change? I mean, obviously, I know you released Well Men 3 years ago. You recorded it 3 years ago, and obviously, it's only recently it's taken off. Was there any were you sort of? I wouldn't say you almost were twisted to say try to go somewhere else, a different genre, or did you were all adamant this was going to be what you're going to be? You're not going to listen to any of these dickheads. You say you got to try this,
I think it was we just kind of fell into it by accident. But then once we'd released a few videos online, we got invited to a couple of festivals down in Cornwall, and I think that's when we really discovered there was such a great community for this kind of music, and they were extremely welcoming to us. These kind of you young people who don't even know the history of these sea shanties, but they were very nice. And we'd started doing more and more festivals. We'd see the same bands and the same people coming along all the time. And I just think that's the community that's really kept us doing this kind of music, and pushing it if we can, but still remembering our kind of roots in the shanty world.
Yeah, we've always tried to make music that we like as well. Like there's not really a strict limitation of this is a shanty, this is not a shanty, therefore we're not allowed to do this or whatever. And like we kind of pushed it out a little bit with our latest album, kind of expanding on the sound and other things that we like and enjoy and can do as well, even instrument wise. But always wanting to stay true to that kind of root core reason why we started singing together, which was that kind of 4-part strong harmony built in that kind of maritime shanty feeling.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a huge difference between that and barbershop, for example, in the kind of the way that the harmonies go, and even the sound way that you do it. Like we try and make it sound as good as we possibly can, but we've been trying to be perfect and like super clean and polished, energetic edge to the sound that you kind of get from that. So yeah, even as our kind of sound is adjusting to what we want to make, we still want to kind of keep that as the core central focus, and yeah, be able to keep on singing those songs and do new interpretations and stuff like that.
And I want one more last question. I know you guys would be busy, maybe cooking tea. I don't know what you're doing after this. I don't know. Taking a dog for a walk. But obviously, there was a lot of press about the when Gary Barlow and Ronan Keating got involved. I mean, that must have been like. I mean, how did that come about? I mean, obviously, you probably asked the question many times, but was it through the label, or was it just because they just discovered you online and thought, well, I'm just going to approach these guys?
As far as I know, it was the one show that just got them to do it.
Okay.
It wasn't really anything to do with it.
I know Gary Barlow's been really good online. I've seen him doing duets with fans and things like that. He's been really expanding kind of his online reach. Obviously, he's the same as the rest of us, stuck in lockdown, can't gig, can't
bored, yeah.
go make music. He has to do what he can.
Sitting there with his head on his grand piano, just
yeah.
That's how I imagine it, anyway.
Yeah, in his massive house, and he's about 10 cars on the driveway. Yeah.
Just sitting there, just hitting a high C, just bing, sighing to himself. Don't write that down.
I won't. But well, can I just ask you one last question? I mean, who takes the lead about who's going to be singing certain parts of the songs? Is it a case of you just? I mean, obviously now it's going to be a right pain in the arse because you're not together. But once you're in the studio, I mean, who sort of takes the lead? Is it just, well, I'm going to sing this bit, or this might sound better if you sing this bit? Is it just, how does it sort of work?
It's very group orientated. Yeah, there's no like lead singer or lead arranger or anything. We all just arrange together, and we'll often get together and just share songs with each other and sing things until it sounds good.
Yeah, we've all got slightly different vocal ranges. So some things that others can do where, JD does like the really low bass notes. So if you want a big solid bottom to the song, then got to put JD on the bass.
I bring the solid bottom.
You see the solid bottom. Yeah. I'll use that. I'm going to use that, by the
way. That's the headline.
I'll bring
big headline font. Longest JOHNS and their solid bottom. Yeah, it does also tend to be sort of a case of, with the traditional songs, it's sort of whoever learns it first a lot of the time as well. So sometimes we'll talk about a song. And then, someone, usually Andy, will run off and learn it in a day or two before any of us get our teeth into it. Right. And then we just kind of build up around whatever that person has come up with.
Right. Okay.
That's a fairly common occurrence as well.
And it's always been a very kind of natural and organic way that we've learned songs as well. Like we've never used sheet music ever.
Never.
Never once. So with all of the arrangements and everything, it's always through close listening and experimentation, and that's pretty much it. So again, we'll start with like a core piece where someone will learn the melody for a song and the words, and then bring it to the group, and then we'll just kind of experiment and kind of decide, well, I'll do this bit, you do that, blah blah blah, and then give it a try, kind of work out something that's it works, and then think, oh, how can we make this more interesting and expand on it? And it's a lot of the songs we'll often find the longer we've been doing them, the more elaborate they kind of get, or the more interesting the stage performance, because we get experimental as it goes along. And so it's just kind of how we've always done things, again trying to stay as true to the roots of oral learning through all the songs, really.
That's interesting. Well, thank you for for your time, and thank you for doing Wellerman as well. I mean, I just think it's just the catalyst, which is just become a phenomenal sort of thing at the moment. So long may it continue, for you and obviously for the music, and and lastly, Robbie, where are you from? Because obviously your accent's not Bristolian; it's definitely up north, isn't it?
Yeah, Liverpool originally. Spent most of my life in Cumbria.
Right.
Yeah.
Andy, you've lost your accent clearly.
I'm from Merseyside as well, but I don't sound like a northerner anymore.
Nope. Jesus.
My dad's a southerner.
Right. Okay.
I guess. But I grew up in the posh bit of Merseyside, I guess. But then I moved down here a while ago and started singing with Southerners, and I guess it went away.
All right, okay. All right, you, Jay, you and Dave?
Sorry.
Sad about it.
I'm originally from Oxfordshire.
Oh, bloody hell.
And then,
Oxfordshire.
indeed, I know, right? And then spent a year in Coventry and then moved to Bristol and been here ever since.
How about you, Dave?
I'm basically Bristolian, kind of close enough.
You're not from Bath, are you, really?
No, I grew up in Clevedon, just down the road.
Oh, yeah, I know it. Yeah, okay. I like Clifton area.
Close enough.
Yeah, it is close enough, yeah. All right then, guys. I'll just turn the video back on, say thank you if you can see me. But no, thanks for that, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you, and sorry for the connection issues. It's just pain in the arse.
It's all right.
Man. Sometimes it's
thank you so much for.
No, I've been looking forward to it. I mean, hopefully that questions are all right. It was just, I just wanted to be a bit more natural, not standing and say this song, this track, whatever. I just wanted to be a bit more natural so people get to learn about you guys. But no, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'll come and see you at concert at some point once we're able.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Be a real pleasure. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to chat to us. It's been a real joy.
No. Thank you, guys. Okay, I appreciate it. You take care, yeah?
Yeah,
You too.
cheers, guys.
Nice one, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.